What a wonderful world.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Real. It is, what time is it? It might be like 9. It's 9:40 p.m. right now. I work in mysterious ways. I work in very mysterious ways, but this is when I found time to record. So, love a little nighttime recording sesh. I just got back from dinner with two of my abroad friends, and it's so nice when you get to just catch up with old friends, especially that you used to live with, and they just like know you from the inside out, and like you could not see them for like 2 months, and then everything just like goes back to the way it was. I just like love those types of people. So it was definitely like an energy gainer. You know, when that happens, you go to dinner with someone or you catch up with someone, and it's like you end up gaining energy after or feeling better after than feeling tired. So that's kind of honestly what I needed today. I needed a little pick me up. So that was very needed. I don't know when the last time I caught up with you guys was, because I had a wedding. I think I might have spoken to you guys before I left for the wedding, but I'm not positive. I had the wedding. It was amazing. My friend looked absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you can stalk her on Instagram. Carly Silverman. She looked absolutely amazing, and she just most beautiful bride. Some people are just meant to be a bride, you know? But I had so much fun with her. Also, as you know, if you're watching the video version, I am wearing not an ounce of makeup, which it's real. So that's, you know, status quo. But I'm really sorry if I look crusty and dusty. And also, I turned the AC off in my apartment because I didn't want you guys to hear it in the background. So if my cheeks start getting red as I'm talking, that's why, because I'm hot. Anyways, my friend's wedding, incredible. Got back, had a little time to like be back in the city, went on a full-blown bender last weekend, and it just had me feeling so not good. Like I don't know what's wrong with me lately. I mean, I go through phases with alcohol where I never really enjoy drinking, but I kind of do it for the plot, and I like blowing off steam. Sometimes I need it, like on a Friday. Sometimes I'm just itching to, like, when that first sip of the martini hits. Like I'm so sorry for people that are like sober or don't drink like this. Like I get it. Like I'm a menace to society, but sometimes like that first sip of that martini or Aperol spritz just like hits different. So no regrets, but I kind of just been on a bender. It's really hard when you live in the city to like not drink, and I've talked about this before on here. But there's just always something to do, always someone to see, always somewhere to go. So it was one of those weekends last weekend where I just had things every single night. So that was really fun. But as the weekend went on, I just was like, by Sunday, I was in my feels. And I don't know if anyone else gets like this, but sometimes I have this hangover that hits a certain way where I literally need to go home to my mother. Like, I'm like, I want my mommy. Like, I kid you not, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I want my mommy in that moment. So I was trying to go home early in the morning on Sunday morning because I was just unwell. My mom happened to be like at the mall with her friend. So I had to wait until that afternoon. I came home Sunday night, like, or afternoon-ish, had dinner with my family, chilled, and then slept, got to like chill out on Monday, and then made my way back into the city at night. Me and my sister saw Challengers. It was so good. Let me know if you guys saw it. It was like so good. I did not know, by the way, maybe I'm dumb. I did not know what it was going into the movie. Like, I had no idea it was a tennis movie. I was like, my sister's like, do you want to see Challengers? I'm like, yeah, sure. I have no idea what it is. And it was, as we're walking in the movie theater, I'm like, I didn't even see a preview for it, but like, I'm down. But it was so good. Zendaya like absolutely slays. And weird flex, but the guy with the brown hair, I like thought he was so hot in the movie. And then I like saw him at the Met Gala, and I was like, wait, he's like not what he looked like in the movie. Like, in the movie, he was like kind of giving. Like, I was like, wait, like, I love him. They both were like kind of giving in the movie, honestly. Like, I thought both of them were hot. And then in person, they're both kind of like these like little cute, like nerdy, like, I don't know. It just was weird. It was so different to like the contrast between like the movie and then like who they were in real life. But yeah, we saw Challengers, and then after that went to dinner with my parents, met up with them. And then I just Ubered back into the city. From there, I've been like, and I don't know if it's because like maybe it wasn't the best idea for me to go home right after I'm like about to leave now tomorrow morning for a trip, but I have just been all over and it's been making me so anxious. I love to travel and I love to like run around, but I don't do well when I'm like that. Like I really don't do well. I think I like it's weird because I love the city. I love the overstimulation. It almost like helps me. And it like helps my ADD a little bit. Like there's always something to do. And I'm kind of like, I don't know, like it actually helps me in that way. Like I felt depressed my whole life, like living at home, living in college. Like I always kind of felt depressed. And living in a city is kind of the only place that I like don't feel depressed. I don't know why that is. And maybe it's like I'm surrounded just by so many people here. It's distraction. There's just so much to do all the time. And it could be just I'm an adult and I'm more healed than I was back then. But yeah, I get depressed when I get the chance to like sit too much. So I need the activity. I need the constant like things to do, places to go situation. But yeah, I just got this weird feeling in the last day or so. I've already been anxious because I've been traveling around a lot, but just getting back because I haven't been here, I just this past day have felt so out of my sorts, so anxious, so weird, like out of my body. And I haven't gotten that way in a really long time. But it just shows me that like after this trip, I go to Austin this weekend, or not this weekend even. It's literally for like the rest of this week. When you guys are seeing this episode, I'll be in Austin. I don't know. I just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just need to be home, I think. And I need that chill time. And I don't know if anyone else is like that, or I guess it's a mix of me being introverted and also I don't understand how people are like nomads and just like travel around and are like that. Like I actually really crave the structure. I need the structure, and not structure to the point of like doing the same thing every day, but just like knowing that like I have my bed, I have my like workouts that I like to do. I can like buy groceries. Like I like haven't bought groceries in like literally so long because I've just been everywhere. So I am really excited to just like get back from Austin well, this is a happy thing, but Mother's Day. So then I'm going to Philly. But yeah, I just like been running around and I just don't do well with all the running around. I actually feel like I'm going insane. So if anyone is feeling that way right now, I'm with you. Like I feel absolutely insane. Also, today's episode is going to be a little like, let's call it a vent sesh. Like we're really getting real today about just, some things I'm struggling with, some things my friends are struggling with, and just like in hopes that maybe someone else who is listening is maybe going through a similar thing and maybe feels like alone or feels like their friends don't relate or they haven't opened up to anyone about it. I just feel like when I open up about these things, there's always multiple people, honestly, that send me DMs and are like, I'm going through this and we can chat about it together. And I don't know, it feels so much better when I can like open up about something and hear the feedback and know that like we're all kind of in the same boat, especially us 20 somethings, because we all know our 20s are crazy and I don't know how to handle it. So yeah, today's episode, we're just going to be having a little vent sesh, having a little let's get real sesh, and, talking about some things that I'm going through. So obviously that first one that I just talked about is like what I wanted to start off with because it's very much what's going on in my life right now. Literally like today was that main day of me feeling anxious and all over the place. And something that really like contributes to my anxiety is the fact that I am so disorganized and have the worst like focus issues and procrastination issues. And I like in a couple episodes ago talked about my struggles with ADHD and how I was diagnosed when I was in college. I went on medication, but then the doses were like too high, so it wasn't even helping. It was just making me cracked out all the time. And basically from there, I kind of just like went quote unquote like sober. Like I wasn't on it anymore because I was like, oh, this can't work for me because like I have problems with it. But that left me in the same exact place that I started in. And honestly, it left me worse because now I'm an adult. I live on my own. It's not just I guess I didn't realize, you don't realize when you're in college or high school, like how little you actually have to balance. I mean, it seems like a lot in the moment, but when you become an adult, it like feels like your world is spinning 24/7 and everything is flying everywhere in my brain, at least. And again, like I would definitely like to be re-diagnosed as an adult like so many years later and talk about how I could naturally, or other medication options of like how I can help myself. But I just like, I lose everything, which stresses me out. Like I'm constantly like losing literally everything. Like I'll put something down 1 second and lose it and be running around like a maniac trying to find it. I'm late. I used to be able to manage my time so well. And now lately, I don't know what it is. I guess because I'm busier, I have a harder time managing my time, or like I'll like take a nap and like sleep too much and knowing that I like need to get up, but like just not being like, oh, it's fine. And then I'm always running late and feeling chaotic and hectic. When it comes to like projects for work, shooting things, like whatever, I'm a procrastinator. Like I wait till the last minute, or I need an extra day with a deadline. Like, and it's not because like I didn't have time, like there was time, but I literally can't get myself to do the work. And it's hard because I feel like it sounds like stupid. Like, I don't know why when I talk about it, I feel like, oh, this is like so stupid complaining about this. Like, you're just dumb. Like, just like you're lazy, just do it. That's how I've always felt my whole life. I've just felt like, and I think, again, like I talked about this in the ADHD episode. When I struggle with these problems, genuinely, I just feel like a lazy piece of shit. I don't feel valid about I feel like I'm in therapy right now, but it's like weird. Like, I don't feel valid that I have these problems, that these focus problems. I guess because like the medications didn't work, and because it's like I think in my head, oh, anyone with real ADHD would be able to take the medications and be fine. But like that can't be true. That cannot be true. Like there have got to be people out there that have struggled with the medications that also still have problems with focus. And especially after coming off the medications and not taking them, my problems are even worse. Like I feel like my brain is just scrambled. And so I guess the point I was getting at is like living in the city is so different than being in college, because now like I pay my rent, I do my taxes, I have to make doctor's appointments, like all these like things that you're supposed to do as an adult. Like I feel like I don't have a handle on. I feel like I procrastinate everything. Like I just feel kind of incapable. It's like weird. And somehow I always am able to get by, but it doesn't mean that I'm not stressed and anxious and feel shitty 24/7, because I can't just like manage my time and have a calendar and have better habits. So that's something that's been like hard for me recently. And I think also knowing that like, I don't know, I feel like everyone else my age seems to like have it together, or like, how am I this old and I still can't manage these like simple tasks, So it's something I've just been thinking about more recently. And I have an appointment with someone, with like a specialist next week, I think, in like a couple weeks or next week. So I'm like going to try to talk about it more, get to the bottom of it. And then I have therapy again, so we're going to talk about it then. Just certain things I can do to take action. But it's definitely something like I actively am struggling with right now. And it's like, it sucks. Like, I'm like, how can I be this old and still be dealing with like, I can't do simple tasks. Like my room literally right now looks like a bomb exploded. Like there's stuff all over my floor. And the best part is that I have anxiety and I have OCD. So like I sound like a crazy person, I know, but I have anxiety and I have OCD. So like when I can't be organized, I feel more insane. Like it makes my anxiety even more crazy, because then I'm not organized and all I see in the corner of my eye is the mess. So then I'll like take all of it and just like shove it in the closet, because I'm like, deal with this later. Like I can't deal with it right now because it overwhelms me. So there's kind of like all these different aspects of my brain that I feel like are like fucked up, that I just want to get to the bottom of. And I don't know if anyone else has dealt with this kind of specific of an issue before, but if you have, like, please DM me, give me your tips, give me if you have a good psychiatrist that helped you, or anyone that's helped you just with your habits in general. It's a struggle for me. It's a legitimate struggle. And in adulthood and just recently, it's just spiraled out of control. I feel like it's been worse than ever. lately. Like I just can't keep track of my shit. So that's what's going on in my life. Super fun. I also, now I want to move on to what's going on in my friends' lives and just something I've been seeing a lot recently among my peers. So I'm about to turn 27 this month, actually. It's my birthday month. Woo, May babies. And yeah, it's my birthday month. So I can't even say I'm excited because I'm like, fuck, I'm 27. Like I feel old. But a lot of people my age, I feel like have been struggling with kind of a quarter life crisis. Like a quarter life crisis is very real, but it doesn't quite happen. I mean, it's happening throughout your 20s, like let's face it, but it's weird. It seems to happen even more so at like that 26, especially 27 age, where some of my friends are married and like literally starting to have kids or starting to move out of the city. And then there's friends like me who are just still dating and going out and partying, like such a different lifestyle. And on top of that, I have my friends that might be married, might be in relationships, live with their boyfriends. Like we're all in different places relationship wise, and we're all in different places work wise. So many of my friends recently, I think all of them honestly, have been complaining about this feeling of what the fuck am I doing with my life? I have this job. I hate it. I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I just can't. And it's like, I want to do something I'm passionate about, but I don't know what I'm passionate about. And how can I do something I'm passionate about? Because I just can't handle this. And yeah, like I'm getting by with my job, but like I want to leave eventually. And when is the time to leave? These are all like valid thoughts that across the board, all of my friends working in corporate jobs have been having. Even honestly, not even like all friends in corporate jobs, even friends that are transitioning to different areas, being like, maybe I'm 27 and I want to go back to school now because I'm like still not sure what I want to do. And like, let me go to grad school. And maybe I'll become a lawyer. Maybe I need to move to a different city and like discover myself. Like maybe I don't know, like maybe I'm in the medical field and I want to switch over to a different side of medicine. Like there's just so many angles and different ways that I feel like people are having this like crisis of like, okay, I'm almost like 30, like we're getting up there. What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? What do I love? Like, is this how it's supposed to be? And I'm not the expert on this, obviously. I do social media. I used to have my own company. I interned, but that's really the only experience I had in the corporate world. So you can't even really say that's like valid experience. I don't know what it's like to have a corporate job in your 20s out of college. I just don't. So I can't sit here and like try to preach at someone and like provide advice for you, but I can give overall life advice in the way that like I see my friends struggling. But then also I see how my parents were raised and I know people in their 30s and like how people have come out of this. And here's what I want to say. I want to say you don't have to be in love with your job. You don't have to. You don't have to have a job that you're obsessed with. You know, if you think about other countries, if you go to Europe, I lived in Florence, Italy, for example, they do not live to work. They work to live. Work is not something that brings them immense amounts of joy every day. They do it because they want to live a decent life and they want to be happy and they want to retire one day. And I think that a lot of people our age are searching for this like, oh my God moment where they're like, I found the thing I love and I'm going to hustle at it every day and like it's going to be great. We don't always, like, that doesn't always need to be the answer. Yes, some people are extremely blessed to like work really hard every day at something they love. Like I can honestly say I do feel that way. But it doesn't mean you have to. Like there's a such thing as like having a life outside of work. And I think it's extremely important that you have it. And there's a such thing as a work-life balance, and I think it's important that you have it. People in other countries, they're doing the work that they need to do so that they can spend time with their family. They can have a drink at the end of the day with their friends. They can take a vacation on occasion if they want it. There's a certain threshold. My dad always says this. There's a threshold that you're willing to deal with of, okay, how much money you're making versus how fucking annoying your job is. So if you're making a lot of money, sometimes it's worth it to just stick it out for a while because you know that that money might be worth it one day. You're going to put that in for your savings for retirement, or you're going to not be the happiest at work every day for the rest of your life, but you're going to really enjoy those vacations and you're going to take good vacations, and then maybe eventually you'll do a less demanding job. But I think it's all about the threshold you're willing to put up with. And also, I think a lot of people our age are constantly chasing like, how much money can I make? Like, I need more, more, more. And I do think like this is extremely important, like especially as women, like we just need to be self-sufficient. I believe that it's okay if you want to rely on someone else and whatever, but I believe in my heart of hearts that like it is so important that you have savings and you have money so that God forbid anything happens one day, like you always have you. And so I think like, yes, it's important to make money. But I also think it's not the most important. Like maybe if you're between two jobs and one is way harder and more demanding and you hate your boss and you're making a fuck ton versus another one where you actually have really good work-life balance and you love your coworkers and you make a little less money, like take that job, because at the end of the day, this is your life. You have one life. You're only going to be 26 once. You're only going to be 27 once, only going to be 28 once. Like you don't get these years or these days back. So if you're going to be dedicated to something and working your fucking ass off for it, like it better be for a good reason. It better be because you're making a shit ton of money and like one day you're really going to like enjoy it. There has to be, or because you're passionate about it. Like it's really difficult and hard, but you're passionate, and it's going to a greater cause. So I just think like you need to weigh those pros and cons, but also realize end game doesn't always need to be where's the most money that I can find and what's the most prestigious job I can find. I know that's someone's path. That's going to be someone's path and some people's path, and that's okay. But I always had in my head my whole life, like you just have to be the best, do the best job, make the most money. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Like, and I know this might sound like kind of uninspiring, but it's also for my girls that are perfectionists that have been brainwashed their whole life to think that you always need to be this way. Like you always need to be the best. You always need to be fighting with yourself, because a lot of it with perfectionism is also internal. Yes, we always want to impress other people. Perfectionists, we tend to be people pleasers too. Like we always are looking at like our parents, even if our parents aren't tough on us, we're like, I need to make them proud. Like I need to make my friends look at me and be like, wow, she's doing a good job. I need to meet a stranger and like be like them, feel impressed by what I have to say. I feel like that, trust me. But it's been recently that I've realized like you just don't need to do it all, because like for what? Like at the end of the day, if that's not bringing you the utmost joy, we have one life. So like at the end of the day, I just want to be happy. Like I actually don't need to put 100% into my job or into influencing or into whatever. Like I want to come on the internet. I want to make people happy. I want to be able to make money to support myself. But at the end of the day, I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time with my friends. I want to take vacations. I want to take my naps, and like not have that stress on me all the time. Because again, life is short, and especially in America specifically, it is stressful living here. Like it is just, there's a different type of pressure that I don't see in certain other countries, in Spain, in Italy. I just always compare it to that. I'm like, we always think like why, even like in the Mediterranean, for example, they live the longest lives. Why is that? Yes, it's maybe because they are eating a Mediterranean diet and whatever, they're like sitting outside, they're being outside more and all this stuff. But I think a majority of it really has to do with stress levels, and they're not freaking out, stressing out 24/7 over their jobs. They're just not. They're doing a job, they're chilling. They're not like, it's not the end of the world if they fucked up at work or if something happened. Like they just don't have that weight in it as much. So again, like if that's your journey and you are super passionate about your career and you do want to excel, go off. I'm just here to tell you that is not the only path. It's just not. So if you thought before that it was, and that the only way that you can have success is by being at the top or getting that promotion or whatever, you don't need to. You don't need it. yes, we should always strive to be better, but please like take it not even with a grain of salt, just take it one notch down and realize that like things just tend to work out the way they're supposed to. And again, life is short. We only have one life to live. Like, it's just not worth crying about it every day. Like, if you're that upset, if you're crying over your boss, if you're really stressed at work, change your job. If you make 10K less a year and you're able to swing that, do it. Don't think of yourself as a failure or a downgrade or anything like that, because at the end of the day, do you know what failure is to me? It's unhappiness. Failure is being unhappy. There's a lot of different ways to be happy. It's not just money. It's not just beauty. You know, it's not just like what you would think of as success, getting a promotion. Like, happiness can be balance. Happiness can be kind of putting up with your job so that you can leave work and go to happy hour with your friends, or sleep in every once in a while and take a mental health day. Like, some jobs just aren't worth the demand. And if that is my millennial Gen Z speaking, and older generations are like, that's just not how we operate. Like, we work hard. Like, we live to work. That's not how we roll anymore, because think about our parents' mental health. It's not great, especially men. They do not know how to open up. They don't know how to talk to people. I feel like our parents have a lot of deep rooted mental health issues that they just never worked out. And I think a lot of it has to do with like the corporate culture and the fact that they don't know when to like stop and pull back. They think that like you just have to be better all the time. And I think with our generation, the great thing is we are working towards something different. Like, we don't always think, I mean, and maybe this isn't a broad enough thing yet. Maybe it's not like people don't know this yet, but I'm here to tell you, like, we're in a different generation. We're in a different time. Like, mental health just simply is more important. And we know what happens when you don't take care of your mental health. We know what happens when you're not valuing your private life and you're putting all your weight into your work life. Good things don't happen, you know? So with all of that being said, I know that was a long-winded rant. Like, I just want you to know, if you're like feeling unhappy or overwhelmed at work, or just feeling like you don't know what to do next or where to go next, or you don't know what you're passionate about, it's not the end of the world. You're not stuck. I think for a lot of people, it feels like you're just at this wall, and it's like a cement wall, and you're like, well, I can't kick down cement, so I'm just stuck here. Like, I don't know what to do. It's going to open up. It's going to open up, or you're going to reroute and find a different way. But you don't need to panic. Things always fall into place when they're supposed to. Or you get to a certain breaking point. One day you hit a breaking point and you say, oh, that was my breaking point. I'm leaving. Oh, there's a job opportunity that looks really great, and actually the hours look great, and this is actually something I'm more interested in than my current job. Switch jobs. Like, there's just opportunities arise. You have to just pay attention. And I always say this, I feel like on here, like, you really have to pay attention to signs from the universe. And I know that's so woo-woo and whatever, but it's the truth. Like, I really, when something is shown to me, I take it, or I go that way. So if something is being shown to you, or an opportunity is being presented to you, always take it, always see it through, always take the interview, even if it's just for shits and gigs. Like, I just think it's always worth it to know your options, and also to talk to other people in your industry or various industries and just pick their brains and ask them about stuff. Like, it's just so important to have those connections, so that because you never know where you're going to end up. You never know in 20 years from now what you're going to end up doing. And it just goes to show, like, opportunities have a weird way of coming up. Like, things kind of have a weird way of working themselves out. You can probably think of a million things in your life. Think of like what you did for college. A lot of the time your college wasn't the one that you originally wanted, or maybe something happened where you weren't sure if you were actually going to end up there. Like, things in life just have a weird way of showing themselves to you and working themselves out. So the same goes with corporate life and with your job. Like, please know that it will work out. Just keep your eyes open for signs and give yourself grace too, because you're not going to be perfect every day. It's okay if you didn't get the promotion. It's okay if you got laid off. Like, shit happens. Shit happens. This is not your identity. Your identity is not where you work. Your identity is not what you do. Your identity is who you are, how you treat people, and what like you are as a human being. It's not where you work. That is an aspect of you. It's a part of your life, but it's not you. It's not who you are. So remember that, especially when everyone has gotten in trouble at work. Everyone has fucked up, made a mistake, like gotten into tiff with someone. Everyone has been through that. It doesn't define you. You have to know that it doesn't define you. If you got laid off recently, it has nothing to do with you. These companies are fucked up. Most people don't know how to run a company. It's their first time doing it too, you know? So you have to remember that. Like it doesn't have to do with you. It's not always personal. You're doing the best you can, and everyone else is doing the best that they can. And other things will come up. And also, things just happen for a reason. They just do. One of my best friends got laid off this year, and it's a blessing. I'm telling you. It was a blessing. It still is a blessing. And she still feels lost as well. She definitely feels very lost right now, even after finding a new job. But I have full faith that she's going to figure it out and get in her groove. Sometimes it just takes a while. And again, this 27-year-old age, it fucking sucks. It sucks. It's just weird. Like, we're all like in between something, in between relationship, in between job, in between moving. Like, there is just transitions happening literally 24/7. This is another thing, embracing that uncertainty. Like, not loving it because it's not the greatest thing ever. It sucks, but just putting one foot in front of the other and just being like, this is what it is. And just going into life with open arms and being like, I am accepting of like everything that is coming my way. And to kind of wrap up this episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about some affirmations that you can do, because obviously when it comes to work, when it comes to like career, I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, and your confidence is reflected like often like in the workplace, and with those around you. So if you're not feeling confident, or if you're feeling unsure about your job right now, or feeling like you are struggling with that perfectionism, on my Real with CW Instagram, I'm going to post some like good graphics. I like have this, I don't know if you guys go on Pinterest, but I had this like viral affirmation thing on Pinterest years ago, and I still love it. It's like all over the internet at this point. People like don't even realize it was me, but it was. But I want you guys, if there's one thing you can walk away with this week, I want you to start doing affirmations before bed and even throughout the day. I like to have affirmations on my phone because even if I'm not reading them, they're subconsciously going into my mind because I have this on my phone. So you can set one as the background on your phone. I used to set, actually, when I was kind of coming up in my career and coming up doing like my social media management, I would always have like one big affirmation set on my home screen that I would repeat every day, or just subconsciously it would be going into my mind. So I'm going to put a bunch of affirmations up onto my Instagram for you guys to screenshot and use yourself, and just some graphics and things like that. But also, we are going to do a little affirmation thing right now, which is kind of weird and a little woo-woo. And I know you guys are like, what the fuck, Carly? But this is genuinely something I do, and it helps me better myself. Like, I have not stopped doing affirmations since I was young, and I can't imagine my life without it. It just adds that confidence, and it reinstills those words into you. And I just really think that what you don't even need to say them out loud. You can say them in your head. I literally say them in my head. I don't even say them out loud. But I think what your thoughts become things. So what you think about becomes your reality. So that's why you don't need to, you can repeat them out loud if you want to. If you're driving in the car, or if you're walking on the street, or you're in your apartment, you can repeat these out loud, but you absolutely don't have to. A lot of the time before I go to bed, I say 3 or 4 of them like in a row, and then I go to sleep. And that's like the last thing I do before I shut my eyes. So that's a fun one. But anytime you can find throughout your day, when you're brushing your teeth, whatever it may be, it's just something that I suggest, if you're feeling that unsureness, that uncertainty, adding into your day. So We're going to do affirmations right now. So the first one, you're going to say, I am open to all the amazing opportunities that are coming my way. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. I am open to all the amazing opportunities that are coming my way. Number 2, I trust the timing of my life. Again, I trust the timing of my life. That's a huge one for me. I use that every day almost. And lastly, I know who I am and I am enough. We're going to say it again. I know who I am and I am enough. And also, please say them along with me if you haven't been already. If you guys want to hear more, you can head over to my Instagram, Real with CW, and I will have the rest of the affirmations there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it motivated you or just brought you some comfort today. I love you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Give this a 5-star rating or review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
What a wonderful world.